Hello, this is Professor BRB, and in this lesson we're going to draw this shell icon that you see right here, and I will walk you through it. The pen tool is very daunting to a lot of people, but I'm going to walk you through this in such a way that you really cannot fail. If you've managed to download this template, you can find the link on the YouTube playlist. And if you just go to the view shell, it'll take you right here. And I recommend that you set your fill to none, which you do over here, to none, and your stroke to either black or a color. And it's up to you however you like to draw. I'll make mine black this time. And you can also control the weight of the stroke in the stroke panel. But we'll leave it at the default for the moment. So here is your pen tool, and I want to zoom in even a little closer on the center of this so we can really see what we're doing. And we're going to go to our pen tool here, which you can just get through P on your keyboard. And in the template, I've kind of tried to help you out to see where you should click and how far that you should drag. And this is really how you learn the pen tool has got to be through practice, and eventually you'll have to figure that out for yourself. But right now I just want to give you a helping hand. So here's our start, that red one right there. We're just going to click and drag out to that little ring. And wherever you see the green point, you click and then you drag out to the ring. And you just kind of continue around. And if it's not absolutely perfect, don't panic, because we can go back and do a little fine editing. And you can just click and drag, and you'll notice that I've placed the points kind of on the edges of the curve, sort of at north, south, east, and west, kind of like the points of the compass. And that makes it a lot easier when you go to do your final editing and get it just the way that you wanted it. So we just keep going. I think I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit here now. And you notice I do a long drag for a long curve and a shorter drag when I have a shorter curve. And eventually you'll just get a real great, almost intuitive feeling for how far you should drag on any given curve, and that just takes a little practice. Clicking and dragging, clicking and dragging. If you need to move around, just hold down your space bar and you get the little grabber hand, and it won't interrupt your line at all. So in this case, we're going to click and drag down to here, but because we want a corner point, we now have to hold our Option key down and drag up. And that creates a corner point here, right here. That's now a corner point. And I'm going to need another corner point here. So I have to click and drag here, and then hold my Option key and pull it around, and then release my Option key. You do not want to have your Option key held down while you're doing these smooth curves, because we don't want corner points up here. We want smooth points. So now we're going back inside our spiral. And if we want this to be perfect, we're going to have to do some editing, because I'm kind of blocking this in quickly. And spirals are actually very challenging to draw because it's like a perfect circle. Your eye can instantly detect any error in what you have drawn. Going right down to the center of the spiral here. You can see I'm dragging shorter and shorter distances because my curves are getting shorter and shorter. And here I'm going to my end point, and I'm clicking here. But this is still an open path. I haven't closed it. This is still a gap from here to here. And I could make corner points and draw that in, but I've decided to kind of take a shortcut here and use my ellipse tool to draw this little circle up here. Shift key constrains it to a perfect circle. Spacebar lets me move it around. Beautiful. Selection key tool. I'm going to pull it down to here. And what I want to do now is combine those two shapes. And it's easy to do with my selection tool. I just select the two shapes, and then I can choose my pathfinder here. A couple different ways I could do it, actually. But if I choose my pathfinder, I can just, with one click right here, choose Unite. And now that is one shape. Now you can see there are some big imperfections in how I've done this. And let's go ahead and fill it. I can just swap the stroke and fill here. And that's one continuous line, so it's going to fill just great. But it's obvious that my spiral is a little bit lopsided, shall we say, because I drew it very quickly. So now, with your white arrow tool, you can click on any of these curves and the control handles will come up. And that's what you got for dragging, is you got those control handles. Let's flip again here so that I can see my template. And you can move the points around. If they're jumping around, make sure that you have snap to grid and snap to point turned off, because sometimes those can really make a problem. And just go around and just kind of do some delicate editing, and you'd be amazed at how precise, with a little bit of patience, you can make your drawing. And it's important that this is a closed shape, because that allows us to do a number of different things. And if you want to ever check whether your shape is open or closed, there's an easy way to do it. Simply select it with your selection tool, and then go to the stroke panel, show your options, and if these little align stroke options are alive, and it allows you to align the stroke to the inside, and I'm going to increase the stroke weight to show you what that does. On the default, the stroke goes on either side of your path. That's the default when you first draw. But you can actually align the stroke to the inside or align it to the outside, which in this case really doesn't work for us particularly. But it's good to know that you can do that. And if you have a break in your path, meaning, I'm just going to delete something here to demonstrate. If I had a break in my path here, these two options would be grayed out, because I can only use those align options on a closed path. So just undid right there. And you should have the ability now to just draw this simple little icon. And next time we're going to work on just some of these simple shapes over here. And in this case, you'll see in the next lesson, I haven't shown you where to click and where to drag. That's going to be your challenge, is to figure out where to place your points and how far to drag. But don't worry, because in the next video, I will walk you through it.